ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಭವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯಾಯಮೂರ್ತಿ ಎಚ್.ಎನ್. ನಾಗಮೋಹನ್ ದಾಸ್ ಅವರ ಮಾನವ ಹಕ್ಕುಗಳು ಕೃತಿ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆಯನ್ನು ನ್ಯಾಯಮೂರ್ತಿಗಳಾದ ಕೆ. ಚಂದ್ರು ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಹಿತಿಗಳಾದ ಬರಗೂರು ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರಪ್ಪ, ಮಾವಳ್ಳಿ ಶಂಕರ್, ಲಲಿತಾ ನಾಯಕ್, ಜಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ ಮೂರ್ತಿ, ಎಸ್. ಶಂಕರಪ್ಪ, ಗೋಪಾಲಕೃಷ್ಣ ಹರಳಹಳ್ಳಿ, ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಕಿಗ್ಗಾ ಸೇರಿದಂತೆ ಗಣ್ಯರು ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿದ್ದರು. ಈ ವೇಳೆ ಮಾತನಾಡಿದ ತಮಿಳುನಾಡಿನ ಉಚ್ಚ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯದ ನಿವೃತ್ತ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಧೀಶರಾದ ಸೆಂಗಿನಿಯಂತಹ ಹಲವು ಶೋಷಿತರಿಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಒದಗಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟ ಜೈ ಭೀಮ್ ಚಲನಚಿತ್ರದ ದಿ ರಿಯಲ್ ಹೀರೋ ಕೆ. ಚಂದ್ರು ಅವರ ಮಾತುಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಗಮನ ಸೆಳೆದವು. ಅಂದ ಹಾಗೆ ಅವರು ಏನ್ ಮಾತನಾಡಿದ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತೇ, ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ನೋಡಿ.
Friends and comrades, I am privileged to have been invited to this function where Manava Hakkagalu, a book on human rights written by my brother Justice Nagamohan Das. We are good friends for a long time, and it was very nice of him to call me to release his book, and I am happy to be in Bangalore once more. Now when we started as a judge of Tamil Nadu High Court, Madras High Court, they don't want to be Tamil Nadu, Madras High Court and Karnataka High Court. Jai Bhim is not the first story. Myself and my brother have seen several Jai Bhims in courts. Jai Bhim is one such story. As lawyers, as judges, we have conducted a number of cases relating to human rights. Many times success, sometimes failure, giving us more experience in handling human rights issues. Even after retirement, we have not taken any other position except work for the common people, and the issue of human rights is dear to us. It is one such occasion I told the director of this film that why don't you take a film of one of my case. The case took place 28 years ago, and then I also wrote in some magazines about this story, but today many people don't read. Even when Manava Hakkagalu is now released, people are reluctant to buy it. The print media and the printed letters are gone of the olden days. Today the important media is a visual media, and Jai Bhim is a proof that how much a visual media can create impact in the society. From Madras to Bengaluru, there are a number of trains, there are a number of aircrafts coming, but today or the last few weeks, I don't take any train or aircraft. I have got a Aladdin magic lamp. I will rub it and say Jai Bhim, and it will take me to all places. I have been traveling all over, from Patna, Calcutta, Delhi, Kannur, Kochi. Last night I was in Visakhapatnam. Even the organized bar, Vesavada Bar Association, had a meeting. We are all never invited in bar meetings because we were always considered as the rebels. But now Jai Bhim, cutting across language, cutting across territories, every mouth is mouthing Jai Bhim. When somebody sees me, he is Jai Bhim Chandru only. I am happy a slogan which was invented to welcome Baba Sahib Ambedkar, Jai Bhima Rao. That slogan is not only for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. The entire people of India are now saying Jai Bhim. To the extent the movie makers, the director of the film must thank. Originally they had ideas of giving some other title. On the day they chose Jai Bhim as the title for the film, that was the greatest success of this film. More than the acting, more than the story, more than the screenplay, more than the court dialogue, the two words Jai Bhim is now being said everywhere. And that is how Jai Bhim, I am standing before you as Jai Bhim Chandru. Now what is the human right has got to do with this film? There are human right violations even before, even afterwards. It is not one story of Raja Kannu and Sengeni changed the society. It is one sad story. Raja Chandru died in police lockup. They belong to a tribal family. And Sengeni took the path of seeking justice. And then there came the story of Bhim. Now when this story was written, there were hundreds of stories. You open any law book, so many human rights violations are taking place day in and day out. It is not as if it is the first time. What is the difference in this film? What is the difference that the film has brought to us? Now human rights violations, it is not something new today. Even before the Constitution was written, where Article 21, right to liberty, guarantees the right to freedom of, right to liberty, right to livelihood, right to have peaceful life, right to be protected from liberty being deprived except by law. All these is there written there. But we see from 1915, there have been hundreds of violations. There are courts to take care of it. There are human rights commissions have now come in. There are also other forums where you can complain. There are hundreds and hundreds of human rights forums in this country. But still, the lockup death, encounter deaths, lockup torture, third degree torture, pre-trial accused being detained for more than necessary goes on. You would have read yesterday in the papers, Comrade Sudha Bharatwaj, she was released after 3 years, not after a trial. Even for getting bail, somebody has to be in jail for all the time. Justice Krishnaiyer, he once wrote, bail is the rule, jail is the exception. But nowadays, most of our judges think jail is the rule and bail is the exception. This is the sorry state of affairs, that after 71 years of our constitution, the judges are yet to understand what is the human right of the common people of this country. In fact, I would only appeal to Brother Nagamohan Das, this book should be given to all the High Court judges and Supreme Court judges. Because common people know, they are the sufferers. They need not need all these things to know how much they are suffering. You need not tell how Raja Chandru was killed. But the point is how to protect system from the state aggression, how to protect the innocent people from the police atrocities. That is the issue. And the same way, when we talk about Dr. Ambedkar, we talk about on his death anniversary, we talk about his birth anniversary, we talk about several times Dr. Ambedkar. Now, people are saying how much Ambedkarism is shown in this film. This is one discussion. How much Marxism is shown in this? Whether it is Marxism or Ambedkarism, that is not the issue. Whether the Adivasis of this country, whether the scheduled castes of this country have a right to live like anybody else in this country. Whether they are part of the inclusive society or they are excluded from the society. That is the main thing today. And it is in that respect, when a film comes on a human rights issue, it also seen by people who are lettered, unlettered, several things. But what is the central theme of this film? When police atrocities are there are also judges to take care of it. Before 1990 in Madras High Court, I do not think that any judge of the Madras High Court ever dealt with such an issue. There used to be complaint, they'll say give private complaint. There used to be complaint, they'll say register a case and investigate. Never once they exercise the constitutional right and then redeem the miseries of the common people. It was Justice P.S. Misra who came from Patna. One man does not make a difference. But still, Misra made a change in the Madras High Court. When he took over as a judge of the Madras High Court, one of the senior judges, whenever such cases came before him, he said that the procedural codes will not bind him. Whether it is CRPC or CPC, it does not no relevance to him. It is the constitution which is relevant. It is the constitutional task of redeeming the miseries of the people which is relevant. And therefore, we saw a new judge in the court. Even before this case, in 1990, a woman by name Padmini, she was raped and her husband was killed in the police station, and police said it is a case of suicide. And she did not give up. She came and filed a case in the High Court, and he came before Justice Mishra. Justice Mishra said, how that he was hanged? Because the lockup is only having this height and nobody can hang. The very first lie that the police made was exploded without any proof. The judge only measured what is the height of the lockup and how, whether anybody can commit suicide in the lockup. And therefore he said, I will not believe the story of the police. I will order a special investigation team to inquire into this criminal complaint. And the team headed by Natika Sharan, a woman superintendent of police, she found that it was a case of a rape and a murder. And then all the policemen were charge sheeted. Padmini was compensated. Compensated not only in terms of money, the judge for the first time said she has to be rehabilitated to join the mainstream of the society. Therefore, he directed the government to give her a job in government service. And she is in government service. It is not monetary compensation. It is also rehabilitation of the victims. And there was no CRPC, there was no rehabilitation, there was no provision for compensation in those days. But Justice Mishra said, I will. It is the constitution which gives us the spirit. It is the constitution which gives us the dynamism. It is the constitutional goal under which this republic was established. And therefore he exercised the power. And the case came only second case in 1993. In this case, I told her she is not a lettered person. She can't get a job. She wants to have a house site in the same village. They are nomadic tribes. They go from place to place. If you give them a house, they will have respect. The people of the village also will come for their hard work to stand with them. Why did this Rekeni was left out, or her husband was killed? Because there was nobody in the village to take care of them, to speak for them. In fact, once Mahatma Gandhi said that India lives in villages. Dr. Ambedkar asked him, Babuji, which village you are talking about?